You know, we've all seen those amazing time lapses of 3D printers just creating things out of nothing. But have you ever really stopped to think about what that stuff is actually made of? Well, today, we're going to dive deep into the surprising science of the materials that make it all happen. So, let's start with the big question. What are 3D prints really made of? Now, you might just say plastic, and hey, you wouldn't be wrong. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The material science behind all this, that's where the real magic is.
Right, so when you picture 3D printing, you're probably thinking of those big spools of plastic filament. But the reality is so much bigger and way more diverse. It's time to go beyond just the basics.
Okay, first, a real quick rundown on the most common method out there. Fused deposition modeling, or FDM. The absolute easiest way to picture it is to think of a super precise robotic hot glue gun. It melts a material and then draws an object with it one tiny layer at a time. And all those little lines you see on a finished print? Yep, that's the layers.
All right, so keeping that robotic glue gun idea in your head, let's meet the three main characters in the world of FDM plastic filaments. We've got ABS, PLA, and nylon.
So here are our big three. First, there's ABS. If you've ever stepped on a Lego, you know ABS. It's strong and super common. Then you have PLA, which is actually even stiffer than ABS. And finally, there's nylon, which is just incredibly strong and stiff. But see that last column? Curling risk? For the really tough stuff like ABS and nylon, it's high. And that little detail is a huge deal.
And that brings us right to the main villain of our story today. A problem so frustrating it drives 3D printing folks crazy. I'm talking about the curling conundrum. So what causes this? Well, it's just basic physics. The printer lays down a nice hot layer of plastic, but as that layer starts to cool down, it shrinks. It actually gets smaller, and that shrinkage creates a ton of tension between the layers, especially because some materials just shrink way more dramatically than others as they cool. Now, this tension can build up so much that the material will, and this is a quote, curl in on itself and pull itself literally off the heated bed. Imagine you're hours into a print and the corners just start peeling up, ruining the whole thing. It is a massive headache.
And this is exactly why those high-performance materials like ABS and nylon can be so tricky to work with. You need things like a heated build plate and a lot of careful adjustments just to stop them from warping and ruining your work. It's a serious engineering hurdle.
Okay, so how do we fight back against curling? And how do we pick the right material for any given job? Well, it all starts with understanding two key ideas that sound the same but are totally different: strength and stiffness. It's actually pretty simple when you break it down. Strength is all about a material's ability to resist breaking, just snapping. Stiffness, on the other hand, is its ability to resist bending or flexing in the first place. Two very, very different things.
Let me put it this way. Picture yourself trying to bend a plastic ruler. That initial resistance you feel pushing back at you, that's its stiffness. Now imagine you keep bending that ruler harder and harder until snap, it breaks in two. That moment, that breaking point, that is a measure of its strength. See? A material can be really stiff but not very strong, or it can be super strong but also flexible. Getting that difference is key to making parts that actually work.
Okay, so once you get these core ideas, shrinkage, strength, and stiffness, a whole new universe of incredible materials just opens up. And this is where 3D printing starts to feel like it's straight out of science fiction. Yeah, we're moving way beyond just plastic now. We're talking about industrial printers that can build parts from metal powders, like titanium, creating these unbelievably strong but lightweight parts for aerospace or even custom medical implants.
And get this, the technology can even print with ceramics. We can now create these super complex ceramic shapes that would be totally impossible to make with traditional molds. This opens up brand new possibilities for everything from unique art to high-tech, heat-resistant engine parts.
What if you need something that's just ridiculously strong but also light as a feather? Well, you can print with carbon fiber reinforced materials. These create parts with an insane strength-to-weight ratio, perfect for high-performance cars or advanced robotics.
But hey, what if you want the exact opposite of stiff and strong? What if you want something bendy? Well, there are materials for that too. With names like NinjaFlex, these filaments create parts that are flexible, stretchable, almost like rubber. You could twist them right up and they'll just pop back into shape.
And the creativity just keeps going. The options are exploding. You can now get filaments that literally glow in the dark. materials that have real wood fibers or stone dust mixed in for amazing textures, and even plastics that change their properties when they get hot or cold.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that the real innovation in 3D printing isn't just about the machines anymore. It's about the materials. What you choose to print with is every bit as important as the printer itself. The material is what defines what's actually possible. And that leaves us with one giant, really exciting question. We are getting closer and closer to a future where we can print with almost any material you can think of. Metal, ceramic, carbon fiber, you name it. So, if you can print with anything, what are we going to build next?